Good, good evening, good evening. Welcome, 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 one and all. You are tuned in, you are connected to Jael Joseph Live, and we have an exciting show here for you this evening. Yes, my hair is black tonight. I'm feeling black today. It's not blonde. Thank you very much, all those of you who are connecting. Share the live, share the live, share the live. We have two wonderful guests who's going to be joining us in just a few seconds. Two amazing individuals, and I can't wait to hear all about them. And we're going to chat. We're going to find out what they've been up to. Um, Let me just get you to it. So, welcome those of you on Facebook, those of you who are on YouTube, those of you on LinkedIn, so those of you on Black Island Girl, as well as Jael Joseph Live, as well as Jael Joseph. Good evening to you. Thank you very much for tuning in. So I want to get straight to the point. All right, like I'm gonna get straight to the point. So it must have been a year ago. I attended an event and I learned that we have like a whole economic. Like imagine how like I felt almost like 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 I was losing out on something because to have an entire circus in Dominica and not know about it. I mean, I'm on social media. I consider myself to be in the media. And I was like, I was pissed off, for lack of a better word. You know that I had not known that there was a circus, and I started learning a little bit more about the group and what they do. I started learning about them through WA, which is Waitucirque Arts Association, and they have the name Waitucirque, and they have things going on, and I was just very very impressed how these young people came together, mobilized themselves, with full support of very few adults, but they've been doing it. And they are people that we should be so proud of the work that they're doing. They have an event coming up in May, and they're here this evening. We're going to learn all about why to work, and we're going to learn all about their event that's coming up in May. We're going to learn about them as individuals. Get ready to laugh because one of them, she thinks she's funny. So get ready to laugh. Look at you, looking like she's scared. This girl talking about me. And the other one is so full of vibes. That is the word, right? Um, so much of an advocate for social justice. Like we're gonna talk to these two individuals coming in here this evening. I want now we don't waste no time. I can welcome to the show for the very first time. To the show, Serena. Also want to say good evening. Her name is Serena Williams, eh? Like Serena Williams. And I also want to say good evening. Hi,
Hey,
hi, welcome to the show.
thank you. Happy to be here.
I gave you guys a special view, so we have a special view this evening. Those
Yeah.
who are coming on, we get to see you guys in why because we both wanted to do this together, and we wanted to make sure that people could see you both at the same time. So we have a wider view for the viewers. So it's really nice to have the two of you on here with me. And I want to kind of get into it first because I may know a little bit about you, but some people out there, they know nothing about you. And we want to kind of get them to know a little bit about you both. So we have Kate and we have Serena. And I think their names labeled correctly. So Serena is, and then Kate is on the in the white and black. So Kate, first of all, tell us a little bit about you. Introduce yourself and let the viewers know who you are.
Yeah, so I'm an artist. My name is Kate Elwin, as you can imagine. You just got told. Um, and I like art. I believe in it a lot, and I'm a pioneer for it. So I'm just trying to bring more art in the space, and everything I do is about that. Whether it's free writing, performance, or any video photography, my Instagram. Yeah.
Your TikTok. You forget your TikTok?
Yes, I did. Listen. That's my. One day I just pick up my phone and was like, this is where I'm going to post all my nonsense for my friends to see. And then I forgot that it's the internet and everybody can perceive me. And I said, oh wow. And then we just continued with it because I was not about to stop. So I've been everyone's personal class clown on the internet. So you're welcome, guys.
I have checked out your videos, kid. Like I stumbled on it by accident and I was on the floor. I was like, this girl is crazy. Like
I am. I absolutely am. Yes, my head
I
bang.
was like, this girl, you were I think when I stumbled on it, you were in Germany or somewhere in Europe.
Yeah.
And you were trying to navigate that space. And I was like, this girl is psycho. Like, where did they get her? Like,
I don't know. To be quite frank.
I
Yeah.
loved your videos. If you guys don't follow Kate, go follow her. Um,
Right.
they were hilarious. I mean, and then you brought in a little bit of your poetry and stuff. Like I actually like I follow you, right? So, um, thanks for enlightening us and letting us know a little bit about you. Folks are coming on. So come on, as soon as you guys come on, share the live, share the live. We want them to know what's going on. Yeah, yeah, we do, we do, we do. And then we have Serena. Serena, tell us a little bit about you.
Okay, a little bit about me. Like Kate, I'm an artist as well. Shocker. I've been dancing for a while. You might have seen me in the past through either Pashi Walk or on stage with Signal Band, although it wasn't me because I was sober. And yeah, dance is my passion, and in a country where things are hard to say, it's nice to have a platform where you can address things in a very beautiful way. And we also, well, the both of us executively manage Waitucirque. Uh, Basically, our mission is just to bring opportunities to the youth that everybody should have automatically been given. But unfortunately, sometimes it's up to you to make the change in the world that you want to see. So,
Thank you very much, Serena, for introducing you. Serena, I first met you when I emceed or I moderated for I can't remember the name, but it was at the just recently the
in
art
the panel discussion,
panel discussion. My brain is not braining.
it's
That happened.
okay. Been there.
Yeah.
And I was fairly impressed. First of all, your name is Serena Williams.
Shout out to my dad.
I was like, when I saw the name in the chat in the group chat, I was like, wait, what, right? And they're like, no, it's a different Serena Williams. You have yourself. I was like, oh, I thought Serena was gonna pop up. Like, my God. But you were so vocal, you were so assertive during the discussion. You raised such valid points. You were so poised about it. And you seem to be very super passionate about young people and the future of young people in Dominica. In a nutshell, what would you like to see for young people in Dominica? Like, I mean, you talk about art and you talk about, dance, things that you absolutely love, like your passions. But what would you like for young people in first of all, how old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
Okay.
And what would you like? Because you came across as like a politician on the panel, let me tell you.
Hey.
I'm 22 years old.
Mm. And tell me a little bit about what you envision for because like one of the things I remember you saying, like I could have gone and study, I could leave and go and study, I could have gone and do this, and you're just so sure about, wanting to have a future in Dominica. What does that look like for you and for young people like you?
Well, for me, I feel like when you're just getting into the actual working world and getting to try yourself and whoever you are out in relation to the environment around you freely, unlike before when you had your parents' wings, um, everybody should be playing on an even playing field. Everybody should be given an opportunity where hard work pays off. I see a lot of young people pushing and trying their best, and yet sometimes it's just doesn't pull through, and a lot of people tend to blame them. And this isn't just for young people. I feel like I'm also an advocate for everybody, but of course, a lot of things start with the youth. So that's where we would focus, and I feel like they might relate to me more. But in general, I just want everybody to have the opportunity to do something with vindication and dedication and always see the benefits of it, always reap the benefits, always see the spoils of your hard work, so that everybody else who watches that can be inspired and be like, oh, maybe all what I'm doing is not in vain. Maybe I should work harder and I definitely will reach where I want to reach. But, so
Yeah,
it's a
thank you
great.
very much for sharing that with us. Kate, I wanna get the conversation started with you. I mean, the conversation has started, but I want to kind of tap into the Y2Circ journey, and if you could share a little bit about how that got started, and why did you want to have us? I mean, of all the things in the world, why a circus?
Yeah, I wanted to hang by my ankles. So I remember one day I was actually in biology class, and this was like just after COVID. So, we're still online. I was very appreciative for that. I was doing a lot of tomfoolery though, behind being on your computer, like doing so many things at once. I was actually messaging my math tutor, and she was like, "You want to meet a clown?" I was like, "Absolutely, that sounds like a great idea." So I don't know what excuse I made up, and I left biology class, and I went to meet her almost immediately. And she said clown. I feel like she shouldn't have said that, but maybe that's how he introduced himself. And I met Saint Alb, and he is the principal of a school in Germany called Circus. And he introduced me to some of his students he had on in Dominica at the time, and they had circus equipment. Now I feel like that was manifestation, if anyone believes in that here, because at the time I was going around asking people like, anyone who has aerial silks? Because at the time I also just really wanted to get back into circus, because I also randomly did circus after Maria. I traveled to Vermont and they had a circus school there. So I tried it out for like 7 months. I really liked it. Completely forgot I did it. I don't know how you managed to forget 7 months of your life, but I managed to accomplish that. Yeah. And when I came back to Dominica, I was like, I did this cool thing. Like I want to get back into it. So finding them was really awesome. And then we got equipment and I said, let's meet every Tuesday. And then every Tuesday turned into, okay, what about Tuesday and Wednesday? And then all of a sudden we're meeting almost
Every day.
like every day. On Sundays, we sometimes go on adventures with each other and then bring the equipment around, just driving around in the circus car. So that was really awesome. And I just accidentally created a cult of circus people, and that was awesome. I told my friends like, hey, you want to join the circus? They were like, you serious? I'm like, yes. Yeah.
Just like that. So it's
Yeah, just like
very
that.
so.
Yeah.
So how do you join the circus? Like, how does that happen?
Honestly, you just show up. There's no registration process as of right now because we're pretty free. I'm not trying to make anything difficult for people right now, so it's pretty accessible. If you want to, you can. You just show up and we help you teach yourself. We are not teachers. We taught ourselves, and we definitely can give advice so that your learning could be shorter. But that's where we're at right now.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about teaching yourselves and the amount
Yes.
of boss downs in just a little bit. So when exactly was this created? Like between two, you said between 2020 and 2021?
I would say between 2021 and 2022. Like in 2021, I met the students from Circus with the
Okay.
equipment, and then we kind of got more serious. I was like, oh, maybe we should make an Instagram, and then an Instagram turned into an email, and next thing I know, I have a circus business. So
Yeah,
yeah.
my whole circus is
Yeah, like sometimes I'll be like, oh, not my circus, not my monkeys. I'm like, wait, it is my business. Those are my monkeys. Yeah.
because this is Dominica's obvious first circus. What was the reaction of like your friends and your peers, your parents, your family? What did they think of you guys?
My grandmother tell me, I hope you become the next Thierry Lafont. I also hope I become the next Thierry Lafont. Not in the same way. I don't think I'll be going to the Olympics for aerials, but yeah, I don't know if Serena wants to kind of add on.
I would say my family is pretty supportive because they know who I am. They know what I, they know I can be. They just expected something. But in regards to the broader spectrum of people, I would say we've had a lot of mixed responses. Like generally, people have been very supportive. Like it actually surprised me how much a lot of Dominicans want to see these things happening, and it is really inspiring. And then on the other hand, there's people who are supportive, but they might be like, "What the hell is that?
A
What are you
little
guys doing?
teasing, a little teasing.
Don't die."
Yeah.
You know. But yeah.
I love too when we travel. Like sometimes we have our circus equipment, and they don't even ask what is that. They're like, "Where are you going? Oh, you that just do the hanging from the two string?
The
Yes,
curtain dancing.
the curtain dancing." And I'm like, "Yes, yes, I do the curtain dancing. Yeah,
Um,
They call it curtain dancing, eh?
yeah. It's kind of funny. I'm like, yes, yeah.
That
It's
is that. I mean, that is so super cool that you guys decided to just take this and run. Um, but I cannot, like, I have to ask about challenges. Like, do you guys have? Did you face any challenges in terms of building a circus community in Dominica?
I face the challenge of the rain, the sun, and the wind. Sometimes when it's raining too heavy, we can't train because right now we train on a tree, which is changing soon because we recently got a grant to buy a aerial structure. Oh, I shouldn't say we recently got a grant. I wrote a grant, and we're getting an aerial structure, which is awesome.
You wrote a whole grant.
Yes, we. Yeah, it had to happen. It had to be us. You understand? It just had to be us. I refuse to continue hanging from a tree, and I want to support the vision more. You know, we have to expand. So I thought it was appropriate for us to get an aerial rig so it could be at least more portable
and professional.
and professional, especially for festivals. We go to other islands and their whole festival is based on having this one portable rig and maybe another structure like a tree, possibly where they rig. I'm like, this is doable. We can do this, and future people can look back at our model and then adapt it to their own style eventually. But yeah, so I would say our challenge is definitely nature as much as it helps and it supports us because I'm so happy we have a tree where we can rig stuff from. So that's one way in which nature helps us. And we have our whole logo based on it, which is really awesome. I'm thankful for it. Um but yeah, and then the sun sometimes it does beat down on our back. Me not gonna lie. Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
So all of your practices are done in the outdoors. So you're
previously, mainly, yes. Although recently, I think we've just been that's been one of our main priorities to get, improved. So we've gotten access to the Old Mill Dance Studio to train in terms of more choreography for our performances. So we can't rig aerials there. There's some limitations, but that's still a big step up. Yeah, I would, and there's also other options that we've been working on, but I would say the challenge is getting some people to respond to their emails. That's some of the biggest challenges.
Yeah.
you sound like you see Kate sounds to me like she is the one that does the research, but you sound like you're the one that does all the admin.
I would say we are a blend. Honestly,
Yeah, very much a
we
blend.
are a big blend, both for both of us. Like, and it's almost funny sometimes because while we definitely are on go 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 together at the same time, as well with other group members, because it's not just us, you know. Yes, we might be somewhat heads, but none of this could have happened without the help of multiple other people.
Yeah.
So while we might be on go go go, I would say we might differ in when I down, she up. You know, if I sick and think she can handle that. If she's sick, I can handle that. You know, but
Yeah.
we both, yeah.
Yeah, and
How
sometimes we
many
do different projects. So whilst you're not handling an email with another business, I'm handling emails with another entity, and then we've just both tackle. I'll be like, Tina, I needed to take a trip to this building, and she'll be like, Kate, I needed to print this out and send those emails. I'll be like, real, like we got it. Yeah,
Wow. How many people are in the circus, like in your circus?
I would say right now approximately 30, like in and out, but
That's
like
a big group.
Yeah, but yeah, but
not all at once. Like
yeah,
I would say like collectively we have people in and out that's footy, but you will never come to a training and there's footy people all at once. Maybe 15 at most for one day in the week. But yeah, not definitely not all at once. Yeah.
Now, do you guys have like a structure, like a president and a secretary? Like Dominica love to have all group in
yeah.
Dominica have like a secretary, a president. You cannot just have a leader and everybody else just follows.
um Honestly, I would say we definitely a lead. We have a leadership role, but we don't say things like president or vice president
Yeah.
or secretary or yeah. We just don't do that.
Because I feel like the way that it started also is why it's like that. We kind of prefer to see how people act when the ball is in your court. You can do, and you have the power to contribute if you want to, and not if you don't. And I feel like that also pulls out the strongest of them all, because then you get to really see what people get motivated by. First of all, like, is it the title that's motivating you, or is it actually seeing all of us come together and make something happen? So I feel like that has actually works in our favor. Not all the time in terms of documentation. So we might have to like
Yes.
we'll throw the president, vice president, secretary around, but to say somebody cannot be
You just throw it around, eh? You just throw it around.
well, it's on the same people, but when we because also the secretary is sometimes us, or
Yeah.
different people keep bleeding
So
into
you're
different
probably the
roles.
secretary at
So
one given time, the president, the vice president, and the treasurer
yeah, so
at any
Yep.
given time.
teacher, oh,
Yeah.
took that guy.
Yeah. Yeah. I also,
Wow.
yeah, I like it in the sense that people don't feel like they can't also assume a position, and they feel, okay, well, if Serena just did this, maybe I can do this too, and then they get, well, collective. So we have an executive collective, and then also like the collective of Circus and our
Yes.
active members. So everyone always knows they can come into a role and then step down. So you don't feel pressured to stay in in a role for forever. That's not, you shouldn't have to build it yourself. And two, if you feel like, oh, I want to hop in now and try something, I want to on the website, you very much well can. So yeah.
Tell me about the name. Like, how did you come up with the name? Or who gave it its name? Like,
Yeah.
Yes, Karen.
So at first we started off as a collaboration. So we called ourselves like Waitucirque to show that, okay, Y2 were the Dominican artists and then Circus for the German school that supported us. And then we felt like we were our own thing. I'm like, we that was all great to show a collaboration of a project, but none of this project is done. We're still here. So what is our name? And
mm,
I felt to give us more agency and way more credit than we deserve to call us Y2 Cirque. Because Y2 for Whitey Kubuli and then Cirque, which is French for circus. And yeah, that's it.
I'm interested to know about your relationship with that German that circus, right? What was that relationship like? Because you mentioned that essentially you were just going to meet a clown. You were just going to, connect with people, and then you've decided to even have like y'all learned a few things. What was that relationship like? And how long did you learn um and was able to tap into that circus?
Okay. Well, I will say that I started circus not in the beginning like Ira. I actually got into it through Ira. A day she just approached me and was like, "Do you want to go to Germany?" In those exact words. And I was like, "Are you trying to sex traffic me?" Sorry, I hope this is not. but, but you get what I'm saying. It sounds
Yes.
insane, but it was true. She's a go-getter. She gets things done. So tutus were in Germany for a few weeks, training in different disciplines. And initially, it had actually started through, was it the youth?
I don't remember the.
It was a different organization in Dominica, but because of the way the admin work ended up happening, especially with Kate taking the spearheading of most of it, it kind of ended up being more us who continued it after that trip in Germany. And ever since then, we just spoke with the principal of the school, Sven Alb, and he agreed that we would be the connection between this project in Dominica and the school. It started off with me, you, and Russell Raymond. And after that, the way that they contribute to us to this day is more through the 3 month program where they send a different student slash trainer every, well, 3 months. Yeah. So while we might not have the time to teach you all, there are different trainers circulating that do different disciplines. So you might not always get the thing that you want to do happening at the like with an expert in place, but
Okay.
they know a plethora of things that you might want to do, and they're pretty skilled and they went to the school. So that's how they contribute to us, I would say, in terms of offering their manpower.
And I would say they were also a stepping stone for me to realize like what is out there. Since then, we've collaborated with other circuses and realized we can, really venture out on our own and you can do anything you want to. Like, why not us? Why not?
Just starts with a message. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
So
I want to know about what other types of acts you guys put on. Like, what are some, because you talk about so many things, like people can learn, and some, you say somebody might not like one thing but they have another option, like what are some of the things that you guys do? Like, what if somebody had to come and watch a show, what are some of the things that they would expect?
Okay.
yeah. So first of all, we have aerials, and there are multiple types of aerials. So there's aerial silks, which is the curtain, according to most of Dominica.
Yeah.
Then there's aerial straps, which I would someone refer to as the two string, you know. And then we have trapeze. Again, someone has called it the swinging thing. So there you go. It's shaped like a swing.
Colloquial terms.
Colloquial terms. And then yeah, and we had aerial rope for a brief moment, which we would like to get back. So those are like three, four options of aerial, different aerial disciplines. And sometimes you might not like aerial straps, or the trainer at the time doesn't do that discipline, but they're specialized in something else. And then, or sometimes you can teach them. Like, there have been moments where they're not sure of a move, and you're like, okay, well, let's have an exchange of knowledge right now. This is everything I know on this discipline, and here you go. And that's what we do for one another as well. So we're always teaching one another. There's also floor acrobatics or dance acro, which is things like bridges and cartwheels, or hand to hand, which is where someone can like balance you on their hand while you're in a handstand. Not many of us can do that, don't ask. Um, there's also two-man highs, which a lot of us can do, which is someone just standing on your shoulder.
Hands.
And sometimes we've tried three-man highs, where it's like three people standing on one another, but with support, like you're holding onto a wall or something. So, or lamppost. We get creative. We also have Diabolo, which is also known as Chinese yo-yo. It's a fancy yo-yo, essentially. There's also, yeah, like this spinning plates, which I like. So you have a stick, and then this plate, especially for spinning. Do not go and take your grandmother plate and a cookie stick and try that, please. So we spin plates on sticks, and you can also balance it in different places, like your nose, your chin, like your fingers. We did some workshops over the summer, or like visiting schools. You can expect we'll always have that. Walking globe. We have a small ball. Well, it's not small to some
Giant
people.
ball.
And you can walk on it or try and balance and do different tricks. What else do we have? Yeah.
And also, I feel like the freedom of it all makes. I've seen people mix two things together and make something completely different. So I feel like that's also why we try not to be too strict, because at the end of the day, we know circus is pretty taboo in Dominica, and we would like to make it ours in a way that is Dominican. So that people have the freedom to mix it around in a way that feels like them,
Yeah.
and hopefully that helps.
The first time I saw aerial, what you call it, aerial, I just draw a blank.
Silks, traps, trapeze,
Aerials.
curtains,
Aerial.
rings.
Aerials. It was
Aerials.
I went to a concert and they were doing it, and I was so impressed. I was like, I wish I, no.
You can.
You
That's all I have
can.
to say.
You
That's
can.
all I
So
have to say.
but
Promise
then
you.
but then true story, I ran into on a flight. So I ran into a woman in the line getting into TSA years ago, and she was visiting on a trip, and that's what she does. She has a school in Ecuador, and we started talking and everything. And she actually, I would love to connect you guys. Like, now that I'm thinking about it,
Like, yes,
I would
please.
love.
I was actually like,
It's
oh, who's
So,
actually.
this?
she, so she owns a school. She has like 300 and something students, and she's also an architect, right? And we became fast friends solely because I got them to upgrade her to first to business class. And
Really
she was
nice.
just like, "You could do that?" And I'm like, "Yeah, you just have to know what to say, right?" Um, and that's how we became friends. We sat next to each other. But I would love to connect to you guys with her, because the one of the concerts I actually got to was through that connection. And then there's another person, that a Dominican, that works with Pink. Pink, and she does that a lot in her shows. And I know she's
Oh yeah,
always
she does. She likes aerial
does a lot of
performances.
that. So yeah, so I'm going to try and connect you with both of these because I just wanted to say it for me not to forget. Because sometimes I think it and I don't act on it because I've moved on. My brain has moved on to something else. But now that you mention it, I think I mean I would really like just I
I would
probably
also
follow
be able to
you,
do it.
right? So it would be wonderful for y'all to connect with both my friend from Ecuador and the people the producers at for Pink in the event that this is something that could go somewhere, right? So that being said, um I wanted to talk a little bit about how do you guys get people to join? Like what is it? Is there a recruiting method or is it just come as you like, let us get this done?
I would say, and this is something that is subject to change. That's the thing. Like, I feel like what we've been trying to do, and we learned this lesson pretty recently. Don't bite off more than you can chew. Right now we're working mostly on capacity building, which is why we like she wrote the grant, which is why we're trying to we're making partnerships with like Ministry of Culture so that we can have more spaces, and mostly human resources I would say is like the hardest thing. So right now we don't want to end up taking like putting in the effort to give people like sign up forms and all this stuff, and then when they reach they can't now because we don't have enough people. So so it's more of a thing where also like the way that we have it set up, those that really really want to, we tend to get very determined people like because they it's almost like they didn't get any question to be there. They came up, they were like, I really want to try this. And the best thing is when they're more of our age, they tend to also have their own skills like marketing, video editing, other networking, well, connections or skills.
Mhm.
So again, I would say in the future we can give like a very structured way of integrating yourself into Waitucirque. But for now, we don't want to portray something that we cannot maintain or sustain. But we're working on and definitely succeeding at improving our capacity for that.
I would
I love
say.
the, I love the fact that you wrote a whole grant. Like,
Yeah,
um,
we did.
so I mean,
uh,
I've written grant written, and let me tell you, it's not
Mm-mm.
easy feat. Like as a matter of fact, I know grant writers because I hate to write grants. It has gotten to that point where somebody has a job, that
yeah,
job to do, right? And it's really neat because they just take a percentage of whatever once you get the grant and you're good to go. But why did you feel, Kate, like first of all, take us through the process of getting a grant? Like
oh
what was that like for
please.
Sure.
To be honest, what was it? I saw the grant and I was like, oh my god, I need it. It have to be us. I told, oh my god, I told my group, guys, what rig you want? We're going shopping. I had no idea how we're going to pay for it. We did not have the money, but I said, no, we're going to get it. And they're like, where's the money? I'm like, somewhere, just not in my hand yet, but it's coming. So I started looking at rigs and then I saw the grant and I'm like, perfect. It's meant for me. It's for me. Like they sent it just for me, especially for me. I was a bit delulu.
No,
And
you
yeah, I
clearly were
started
not.
yeah,
Yeah.
but I started writing it immediately. I contacted WOW, which is a biggest supporter. I'm like, because we're not a registered non-profit organization, nor do I think we have the capacity to go through that process right now. So I'm like, can we work together to write this grant? And they're like, if you think you can do it, then you can take it. I didn't think I could do it, but I wasn't about to say no. So I'm like, yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
That's
So yeah, the next day I started getting papers, things I needed, writing contracts for people to sign, being like, okay, if I have a program, can I host this by you? Okay, and just everything, getting information to show that we had a certain percentage of money already to put into the project we're writing, which the project is outreach and getting the community more involved in circus. And yeah, it was some sleepless nights, two caribbees, and
Tualo.
then one crash out, a mini crash out, not nothing too big. um and then we got it done, and that was beautiful, and that was not me going in depth, but that was a brief overview. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that with us. I know you guys, you're a tight knit group. And like you mentioned, you started with one. one practice, then two turn into five. So if you're training 5 days a week, how do you guys balance this commitment with your own personal life or even your professional life? Is that a
Just get rid of it. Just don't have one. That's the
Yeah, we
solution.
didn't. For a long time we didn't, and we learned our lesson. So
Yeah.
now, generally, especially for a lot of admin work, we try to hit. Well, us will go like 3 days a week. But if we could, if we could, we would go 5 days a week again. It's just, yeah, some things are genuinely impossible the further you reach into the adult life. It's crazy.
Yeah. So what we do is basically I try to do my process in front of my members so that eventually they also see what I do so they can do it as well. And that's what's happening. We're building a stronger team of people who are capable and able to do administrative work, and we have a schedule now. We're getting more organized, so we're like, okay, on Monday and Thursdays we have studio time, so if you have anything to do in the studio, this is it. And I know, okay, on Monday and Thursdays I'm going to go to the studio, and then on this one day in the week I'm going to do aerials. On Wednesday and Sunday I'm going to, that's my that's my time for Waitucirque business, and every other day is dashes. Dashes not my problem right now. And yeah, so getting more organized, definitely getting better at task delegation and learning to say I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, getting better at having strong boundaries, I would say.
that's wonderful. That's really good that you guys, because I mean, I could easily see like you, because you know sometimes what they say about creatives, they can be all in their head and sometimes you're not as productive as you want to be
Yeah.
because you're all in your head and you're oh, I just want to create. But who's going to push your creativity? Who's going to promote it? Who's going to, you know, like just saying I just want to create, unless you have a manager, you know, like it's impossible, right? So
Yeah.
And
I'm
we also, oh,
yeah.
sorry.
No, go ahead, go ahead.
I was saying we also have jobs, so
I was about to ask,
that's.
like, do you guys work? Like, what do you guys
I'm
do?
a I'm a high school integrated science teacher at Goodo Secondary School.
I'm
Yes.
a diver, so I'm pretty chill. Like
She works for, yeah.
yeah, I work at, oh my god. I work in Sufria at the Coral Center. Yeah. At Nature,
Mm.
across from Nature Island Dive. And yeah, I'm not going to lie. I do sometimes take like 10 minutes to look at my phone and send emails like a little bit in the
10 minutes.
day. I'm not
Sorry.
going to admit more than that on camera. Um, but yeah, after my diving, sometimes you need a little, a little downtime. So yeah, my job isn't that, it is physically demanding, but it's also a very relaxing job. You kind of come out from like diving and seeing turtles and sharks and be stressed. Sorry, I mean to sharks are nice by the way. I meant no sharks.
No sharks.
Anyways, and be stressed about it. So I would say like I don't have a very high level of stress in my job, so I don't really have that stuff to carry on. So when I come to training, it's I'm relaxed, and I also wow, my brain just did a thing. I can also send emails during that time. Yeah.
I know, obviously, being part of a circus or just circus arts, obviously they require both physical and mental discipline. Are there any skills that you guys teach your members beyond just performing? Like, is there anything else that comes with it, or is it just more, let's come in here and it's a space for you to perform?
When you say skills, do you mean like life skills or do you
Like
mean.
life skills, yes.
Ah, I would say that happens by default.
Yeah.
Like, I would say that all of us that are in circus currently were different people when we entered circus. Some of us more than others. And it's really incredible what a supportive environment can do for some people's personality and demeanor. Like, there are some people who, when they just joined, I'm not saying they were bad people, but they were a little rough around the edges now, me against the world, And it was just turned out that they didn't really get to find an environment where they felt comfortable enough to let their guard down until circus. And yeah, from there, I really think everybody has that better version of themselves inside them already, and it's just being in a nurturing environment to pull that out of them.
Yeah. I would
Wow.
say as well, circus circus is an art form, and we all know we're artists. in the sense that art always attracts what you would consider very strange people. But I would say these are people who are a bit more innovative, no mean to be rude to the normies. A bit more. You're not. You're like a black sheep, and everyone is looking for their place and their space in life. Also, art is a way to express yourself, and a lot of the time, people who come around, have had some sort of roughness in their life or trauma that they would like to express and not speak about. So we do get a lot of people who, you see that in them when they come in that they need some extra help or extra support. So naturally, the circus is a space where you grow as a person and not just as an artist, which is why we also want to keep continuing it, because it's not just about it is about the art, but it's also about supporting people mentally, physically, emotionally, and just knowing that there's more to life than what your parents might be telling you. And the normal way of going through it, you go to school, you work, then you die. No, I mean, serious. We teach people you need to learn how to live properly. And I think it opens up your eyes to more options, more possibilities.
I definitely like that. I like what you say, Cade, and I'll tell you why I absolutely love what you say. Because I mean, I'm older than you guys, and I was raised to believe that you go to school, you get good grades, you eventually go to university, you get a good education, you start making money, then you buy a house, you buy a car, you have kids, like in any given order, but that is the ultimate goal. And slow, like being around a lot of Gen Z's, because I'm also an instructor, so I teach at a university. So I'm around a lot of 20, 21 year olds, and hearing their take on life and what they want out of life is completely different than what I was raised to believe. And it has shifted my perspective so much on your hashtag goals, like what you want to achieve. Like now I'm like, if it's not working out, I just leave it, and I just move on. That's not working out, leave it alone and keep it moving. Additionally, like I don't feel like having a house and land is important. Like I want to travel, and I want to, that is what is more important to me. Like living my life instead of living to die, like you said. Because essentially, when you have a house, you will be staying in the house all the time, right? So you
Exactly.
leave it to stay in the house. So I mean, what you say is it resonates with me so much. So I can definitely understand, and I love. I mean, some people say Gen Zs are a little crazy. Um, I think you're all a little crazy. However, there's certain views on life and living. I've grown to love, and I gravitate towards it. And probably that's what keeps me youthful, and people think I'm still young, but I absolutely love it. And if you just coming on, guys, now, like if it's your first time coming on and you're knocking it, you're coming onto the program, please share the live. Make sure you hit the share button. We want folks to know about the Waitucirque. We want folks to know about their program that's coming up. We're going to be talking about the program in just a little bit. So we want folks to come in, and if you support young people, because a lot of times we say we support young people, and it's just beating gums. We're not actually doing what we need to do in other to support young people, like listening to them, allowing them space to grow, allowing them space to do what they need to do. So share the live so folks can get to know. If you have friends, if you're watching from outside of Dominica, but you have people in Dominica that you think would be interested in the circus, or in knowing more about this group, tag them. Share to anybody and everybody on your platform. Share it in your group chats, so folks can know a little bit about Why Choose Cirque. I know, like I remember Kate hearing you speak at an event, and you expressing that you guys obviously practice a lot outdoors, and safety obviously comes to mind. when I think of like broken bones and I mean, being in a circus is not necessarily the safest thing to do, so to speak. How do you ensure that people remain safe while performing?
I would say my biggest thing is to trust your body. Trust yourself, trust your grip strength, you're stronger than you think. As unsafe as that sounds, I think the more you instill in people fear, the more they're likely to fall. For example, I remember growing up as a child and my mother would always tell me like, "Oh, stop running there before you fall." I'm like, no, no, that's let the child fall. They'll figure out how way they should be running, like develop critical thinking skills. I also look at like new parenting styles where parents let their children run amok, run around, jumping from different things, and these children learn a good sense of bodily awareness where they are in space, how to control themselves, and when they're like, I shouldn't do this, this is not safe anymore. So I try to bring that parenting style I've seen on the internet into circus. I'm like, okay, well, how does that feel? Like, do you feel like your fingers are tired? Like, how is your body feeling? Are you too weak to do this right now? Should you be getting stronger? Should you be doing exercises at the end of training so that you can hold up yourself for longer? Because at the end of the day, if you're weak, that leads to a bit more injury depending on the skill level or the skill level of the trick that you're trying to do. And then you just go below that and you're like, okay, I'm strong enough for this, so this is what I will do, and then I'll build up to this later. And that is very important. First of all, strength and believing in yourself. I know if I'm too tired to do a trick, I will not do it. I'm not trying to show off. I have enough strength for this one trick, and then I'm going to come down. In addition to that, we have maths.
Yeah, that's probably the first one. But yeah, good, good.
Sorry, I just need to say that. Like we
Oh, we're
have
getting
maths
good boss
and
down on maths.
Yes.
yeah, yeah, we have maths.
That's crazy. We have maths. Okay, we have maths, guys. Um, I I know you guys have performed at quite a few major events, Jazz and Creole, Wato. You mentioned performing internationally. What would you guys say has been probably your most memorable performance so far?
I would say Les Artis Show, Martinique. They had us for 2 years in a row,
Yeah.
and yeah, it was just really accommodating. It was a festival, so it's not just us doing the arts; it's multiple different art scenes, and the way that they integrated us into the show and the reception from the people was incredible. So yeah. Oh, you want to say something and I say something?
You can go ahead.
I would say that also one of my favorite things is getting to see people who never got to travel before travel with us. Like, and that's also why we really, really want to see if we can maintain some partnerships and connections with like regional or international circuses or festivals to give other people that opportunity to travel because it's really insane how seeing life outside of Dominica can affect someone's perspective. And, also let them dream bigger, make them realize that maybe you'll get a way better reception in a different area. Not saying you have to leave it, but you can have more confidence to keep doing it until people like it. Because eventually, first they'll hate, then they'll appreciate. So, yeah, that was really nice, and just seeing people get the opportunity.
I would say it would be the same for me. Lizard show in Martinique was amazing, and it's one of the better experiences I've had while traveling because one, they're like a family as well. Everybody know everybody doing stuff for one another, and I look at we're coming in when they're big, and
Mm.
then so it's like seeing where we can be as well. It's seeing
Yeah.
another model of what we can follow. And in the festival they have like this like postcards or this like manila paper, and they have them from a fence and it goes along and you can see their history. So you can see all the way from, I don't know, but like 10 years ago, and look at how the members that were there, how it changed, who stayed, who came back, who was flowing in and out, the volunteers, and how they started small and then how they grew bigger. And I'm like, oh no, they have t-shirts. Okay, now they were able to expand. Oh, they wrote a grant to get an aerial rig. Now they can expand their festival and the outreach they do, how they go on the radio as well. And I'm like, oh wow, and we just really jived with one another. Another thing is traveling with your members and then having to live together. A house of circus artists is very interesting. It's the craziest thing. We playing games, like just doing craziness in the middle of the night, hanging from the door frame.
Cooking and cleaning schedules.
Cooking and cleaning schedules are not normal, and I'm like, oh, this is beautiful. If I have to live in a house, this is what I want
Yeah,
it to be.
it's very nice, the
It's
structure.
it's very freeing, I would say, and you have a family. You travel with a family that feels just really good. No one judging you, and it's yeah, it's a very warm environment, I would say. Yeah.
Wow. Tell me about the tree show.
Ooh,
Yeah.
the tree show. Okay, I would say that, well, for those of you who don't know, the tree show is our self-produced show. Our first self-produced show, and we've had about four of them
Yeah.
in the botanical gardens. I would say that it was really just a test to see how exactly, like, dipping our toes in the water of self-producing shows. And trust, we learned a lot. Not saying that it seemed like we didn't know a lot, but during the process, we really had an appreciation for event organizers because that, I see why it's a job. There's a lot of things you have to dot your i's and cross your t's, and we're thankful for the tree show because those multiple different shows over the span of like 2 years, they helped us to be able to develop those skills that has made this show that is upcoming a lot easier to manage due to the connections that we had in the past and the reception from all the supporters that were there in the past three shows.
Wow, that's good to hear. And I like the fact that you guys have it was trial and error for you, and now you're like, okay, well, we think we can do this, and we're gonna do it properly, and we're gonna do it in grand style. We're gonna create flyers and all kinds of stuff. And you have a show coming up soon. Well, it's coming up in May, and I'm interested to know a little bit about us. So first of all, tell us about the theme Nous c'est histoire. Is that right?
Yeah, I'm gonna stay so.
Yeah. Well, the translation is we are history, we are the story. So basically, it just means that, considering that circus is such a taboo thing, like we mentioned earlier, and many have felt, we want to remind Dominicans that as much as we might feel like we're in the age of, the end of the world, nothing's going to happen after us, we are history. At some point, people in the past were the present and they became history. What we do now can set the standard for the future. What we do now can create a completely different culture. We have the power to sit down here and decide, you know what? Dominicans, they swing from the trees now. That's how we express ourselves. That's how we dance. Bell in the trees, something, and that's what we meant when we say we like to see how people mash together different things. Because again, it's kind of like reconnecting with your ancestors, reminding yourselves that, the same way they at some point thought that that little traditional dance they were doing after Massa went to bed was just something between them. It became something that transcended over centuries. So yeah, it's just to remind people the power that we have as people living in the present and to try new things because it could just be the next big thing.
What is your vision for when you talk about all of these things that you want to accomplish, but do you see this growing into like a major annual event?
For now, we're going to see what happens. That is my biggest answer. No, because people always wonder what's next. No, what's now? What's happening now? Let's not worry about what's happening next just yet. Let's not burn out ourselves. Let's not put the cat on top of the horse. Let the horse breathe. Um, yeah, I would
Yes,
say no. Yes, my biggest vision for No Say Histoire is to see, I think my artists come together. I want to see us killing it. When I saw us at the tree show, I thought we can do better than that. I want to see something where people prep themselves to go to. I want my artists to understand that people can come and pay to see you, because at first tree show was free. It is free. And I'm like, okay, what is a way in which I can elevate this? I'm like, guys, we need to charge. We need to charge. And they're like, no, let's give the people something free. I'm like, we've been giving them freeness. It's time. And that was not to say we're not going to do more free shows. I think sometimes you can't afford that, and I don't want to stop that at all. But I also want to validate artists, because a lot of the time people don't think that art is a valid career path, and they think it's something you're wasting your time doing and it's just a hobby. And I thought, okay, well, if we can have a show and my artists can get a first little paycheck or a big paycheck from this show, then they can understand, okay, if I take this seriously, this is something we're doing for the first time in Dominica and this is how it goes. I can continue building myself, I can continue building this industry, And I just trying to plant a seed and watch other people spread it. Will I be doing Nuse Histoire next year? I don't know. Maybe it could be somebody else who like, the first year this girl did that and it was so good and I would like to do it again. It was a really good opportunity for me. And then I met Pink and now I'm her aerialist. Like, I want to be that for somebody else. And I think other people think things impossible and they're not. I want people to realize that they have more life to live and you can do it here in Dominica. Dominica is a really beautiful place and I want us to appreciate what we have and expand on it and not feel like we need to leave an island to go explore in other countries where you are not appreciated when you have a home here. Not saying you don't have to leave and explore. I think that's a great idea, but yeah.
Wow, that's a mouthful. That's a lot. That's a lot, and I really appreciate you sharing that with us because a lot of times we limit ourselves in terms of what we can do with our lives here in Dominica. We think that, oh, it's just go to work morning, come back home at night, make lunch, eat food, line by the river now and again, line by the bay, and
Yeah.
that's pretty much it. Go to church, and that is life. But life is so much more. And I love the fact that you say like this. You don't know what's gonna happen next year, but you're here for it, and you're here for it now, and I truly appreciate that. Um, can you tell us a little bit about the lineup, the festival lineup, what it is like, and give us some details on what folks can expect?
Oh my god, yes. So we're going to start at 10, and the idea is we'll set up a registration, but we're going to have workshops in the morning so people can get a taste of what circus is. Like, okay, you come into this festival, you're going to get introduced to what it is that we do. So we're going to have different workshops people can sign up for at different times. So we'll have a first station, and then in the day, if you miss a workshop you really wanted to do, you have a second chance to go ahead and find another opportunity to do something else.
Yeah.
So going to have improv theater. You get to see how we get into character, where we get these ideas from, making up stuff on the spot. Because sometimes when we perform, we make mistakes and we just have to make it up on the fly for your partner just to decide what's happening. So get a little taste of that. We're going to have aerials. We're going to have some tight wire. There'll also be someone doing a live painting demo, so get inspired by the art scene. So if some people want to observe that person doing that, there will be that. Acrobatics and just different circus, little bits of circus over the property, and it'll be a nice day. And then we'll also have a discussion afterwards. And not my idea, what's going to happen is I want to give people the chance and the opportunity to sit with the artists before they even see what's happening and just ask any questions they have us and just discuss what they can expect or anything they want to say. I just want to have an open conversation with people. The idea is that we're in a circle and we're just all grounded and speaking to one another. And then after we get people in that mindset, and we also get them in that mindset so that you just had a personal conversation with the artist. When you're watching the show, you're not like, who's that? You just had a conversation with them. You know who they are, and you're a bit more attentive to and receptive to what you're going to watch. We're going to start our show. We're going to start our performances at 5 and then onward. Yeah. And then about 7.
So you wrap up at 7. So it's like
Yeah.
a 10 to 7
Yeah.
day.
All day festival. Yeah.
But you have different options for folks who want to attend. And I like that you have options because you seem to want to cater to quite a few different types of people. So share with us what some of the options are and how we can tap into that. So if we would like to go, where we get tickets, and how
Yeah.
that works.
Okay, so currently our tickets are not live, but you can expect to buy them from Shop DM, and then we'll announce other places you can possibly purchase them, like from us individually or from different stores and establishments. Right now it's Shop DM. And we have different tiers. So you can buy a full day package, a half day package. We'll show out our flyer. You can see all the information will be there and everyone can choose what they can afford. And these tickets will also be inclusive of a shuttle bus system. So once you pay for your ticket, you're also paying for a ride to get to the property. So a lot of people wonder, oh, you can get to Cochrane. No, in Dominica is far. You will get there.
Yeah, it's
You will
so
get there. It's a beautiful place. It's worth the trip, in my opinion.
Oh, I don't know what happened. I think I lost them. So my apologies, guys. But while we wait for them to jump back on, they may have had an interruption with their internet. I want to kind of just tap in to the folks, those of you who are tuned in, those of you who have shared the live. Good evening to you, Tara. I see you locked in. Good evening to you, Sandra. Good evening to you, Rosaline. Also, want to say good evening to my sister who's locked in. And if you're just coming on and you just started to listen to the conversations, we were actually discussing Y2Circ and their new uh, project or their program, their festival that they're having on May the 31st in at Capri Cottages in Cochrane. And they have various tiers. It is a hands-on experience. Like Kate was mentioning, there are multiple different things. So they'll be doing acrobatics, juggling, ball manipulation. There'll be an improv theater, aerial arts, tightrope, a live painting demo. There'll be a henna tattoos, and they've arranged shuttle buses in your ticket to and from the event, and there's also no parking on the ground, so vehicles will be kind of guided to a special parking area. So the ticket tiers, so any children under 5 years old will be able to attend the event for free. That is the Nusa Histoire Circus Festival that's happening on the 31st of May. And so children that is between the ages of 5 and 12, it's $35 for the entire day. And there is Metave, that is for those who want to come for half the day. So if you don't want to come for the workshops, but you wish to attend for half the day and as well get the show later on in the towards the evening, that's $35. There's the Cicero, which is for a family of three. That is $100. And then there's the Cicero Solo, which is for an individual who wants to come for the entire day, and that is $50. So they've joined us. They've
Yeah.
connected back with us. We lost you guys for a second, but that's okay. I got a moment to kind of share the pricing and the cost with the folks who are tuned in. But we're glad to have you guys back. I guess the internet probably dropped and you dropped off
Uh,
first. That happens. The internet is interneting, and that's okay. So I just shared with the audience a little bit about the different tiers, and I like the Medved tier. Mhm. Because I suspect that that is typical Medved style for half today and then the show because you want to come and see what happening. You don't really want to be in the workshop, but you want to see.
yeah.
So that is just for you, and the tiers make it affordable, especially for the family of three. Family of three can pay $100, and they can all come together for this event coming up on May the 31st. I think before you jumped off, you were sharing a little bit about, what people can expect. And I'm interested to know, you know, uh, if beginners can actually, come in and perform. Like if you're just beginning, can you actually perform on that day?
You can definitely come and try the workshops. That's what it's for. We're not expecting anyone to be Cirque ready at the end of it or in the beginning. You don't have to be. But the whole idea is an introduction to the circus. So we're not going to make anyone feel shame. And the whole idea is to make people feel comfortable and let them know that they can do it too. Also, the time we have people come and they're like, I too old, or like I cannot do that, or I'm not smart enough, or I'm not strong enough, and this is just to be like, hey, we all started here, and you're very much welcome. I promise. So yeah.
That is absolutely wonderful. Um, I also am interested to know, will there be opportunities for people who attend to get involved with with you guys even after the event? I mean, you might say, okay, people come to the show, they come to view, they come to check out, they come to Medvey. Will there be opportunities? Like, are you guys structured in a way that attendees can possibly get involved with Y2 Circ even after the festival?
Absolutely. I think, well, considering that they could have been involved even before the festival, they definitely can after. I guess what that would really do is just acquaint them more with what they can expect throughout the week and like our goals, and the people themselves get them more comfortable with us so that they can see if they, well, I think everybody has a place in my sleep, but to each their own. But yeah, so absolutely. Um, yeah, I guess we could also share our scheduling, which
Yeah.
is pretty basic at the end of or throughout the day. But other than that, our doors are always, well, we'll be open for a while. And you should walk through still while it's free.
I'm bold. Yeah.
Wow, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. So we spoke about the workshops. We spoke about the activities that will be happening. We spoke about the opportunities. Why do you guys feel like this is an important event for Dominica?
I feel like it's important because again, we'll be showing people that artists is being an artist is a very valid career path, and it's not just about swinging from trees or dangling. It's about going through a process and presenting a piece of your heart or a piece of what you've been learning to an audience and making them also feel what you feel and telling stories. For example, back when we had our course of culture, my mom always used to make sure that I was at her feet and tell me, you see that? You learn that lesson, they'll never make that happen to you. And this is a tradition that has been lost, and I really, really appreciated when I was younger. Even going to the library. No, we don't, there's nothing. There's nothing but jams. Where are you going to bring your children? So this is important because there's an event where you can bring your children and that they get to look up to someone or look at the stories or the messages being told. And at the end of the day, people don't realize it, but they do look up to artists as, the people who are always looking to shape the world, whether you realize it or not. So it is an important place in society, and that's why it's important. You need to bring your children, not just your children, but yourself. Open your mind. Go watch.
Even Granny.
Even
Even
Granny.
Granny.
Granny might need to process some things from when she was younger, and this will help her to understand herself. You understand?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Years ago, I don't know if you guys were old enough to know, but years ago, we used to have a circus coming to Dominica. I remember them being in Portsmouth and putting on like a fantastic show. I wonder what happened to the and who was in charge of that. It would be interesting to know who was in charge of that because I think this would be a really cool like collab because they used to put on I tell you they used to put on a show. They would come in, I believe, for like 2 or 3 weeks and they would put on a show in Portsmouth. I don't know if anybody on the live can remember that. And I believe they would put on a show in Roseau. I don't know too much about Roseau. I just know I used to attend the one in Portsmouth. When I was a child, I must have been like 12 or 13 thereabout, and I don't know if you guys heard about it, but it used to be such an amazing show. And I know a lot of kids used to look forward to coming to see that. So now like just hearing that we have our very own circus here in Dominica. I want to encourage folks to really show their support and show up for you guys, in a huge way. Not just show up for you guys, but show up with their families, with their kids, and have a really awesome time on May the 31st. What would you say is probably your where you want to see the group in like the next 5 years?
Alive.
And then, well, the goal that we're generally working towards is self sustainability. So I feel like a lot of organizations tend to, like, along with having a hierarchy that's very strict, where it's like up down, they have their two heads and what they say goes. We want something where everybody feels like it's their responsibility to keep this dream alive. I mean, if you leave, it wouldn't die immediately, obviously. But at the same time, we want it to be in a way where when we leave or if we die, God forbid, it doesn't die with us. there's enough competent people around that can continue to let it strive. But in regards to the different sectors that we want to continue, I would say teaching, which is one of our more heavy things that we want to capacity build for. Performing, performing,
Yes.
performing both regional, local, maybe even international more consistently, and youth development. So we don't always think everybody has to be taking this serious to the point where they have to be the next, like kid said, Cirque du Soleil. It could literally just be somewhere where you come to get more aware of your body, to relax, to meet other like-minded people, to just have a good time, and be comfortable in trying things and failing over and over again until you maybe are really good, or maybe you just keep doing it because it's fun. No pressure. But yeah, I would say developing those three sections and ensuring that there's something that can almost feed off of each other without depending on just a few people to keep it alive. That's our goal in 5 years.
To add on to that, I would say more support from private sectors, the government as well, more parents, adults.
Yep.
That is what I would like to see in the next 5 years. Way more support and energy being given to us, the youth, because we're the future. So you should probably give that.
You should probably, and which is why we're telling you to make sure that you're sharing the live so that folks can get in on this, and they can learn more about you guys, hear about the event, the festival that you're having in May, and attend to show support to you all. This is the point of where we've kind of switched it up where we have a few questions. I think one person needs to answer it. I don't know if y'all want to like toss a coin to see who will answer the rapid question, because it's how we can get to know you guys really quickly. So who wants to go?
Is it one question?
No, it's a bunch.
Can we
Okay.
just go?
We can go every other.
Yeah,
Yeah.
alternating. Yeah, because
Yes. All right.
Yeah.
So
great.
who we starting with
I,
first?
I can go first.
Yeah.
All right. So once you go and you answer the question, I move to the next. So it's rapid, okay? All right. Don't give it
Okay.
any thought. Just the first thing that comes to mind. All right. All right. Ready?
No, but go ahead.
All right. Your favorite circus street or act to perform?
They don't
Favorite
have
circus
names.
street.
Okay, my favorite one to perform is actually a duet with me and Serena, and it's called Without the Lights. Yeah.
It's about abuse and how it can be a push and pull for both people.
Honestly, I don't even like it because of the message. I just think our physicality is really good and it feels awesome. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, we have a lot of chemistry on stage.
Nice. That's nice. Next, the biggest blooper or funny moment during a performance.
Okay. at, at the second tree show, Kid and I was performing without the lights. And I think there was a point where our feet get tangled in the silks, but our heads were facing away from the crowd, so I was like, it tangled, it tangled. She was like, "Oh, it's so-" But then when we turned back, we were so normal, and like at the end of the performance, everybody was like, "Oh my god, that's amazing! How did you?" And I was like, nobody saw that.
That was a mistake.
Nobody. So I think that was yeah my favorite because it also really helped us realize how if nobody knows, nobody knows if they don't see.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Just go along, yeah.
Right. If next one, if you could perform anywhere in the world, where would it be?
I would love to perform in France just because I want to be forced to talk more French. And France has a really great circus scene, and the people there are crazy. It's really hard to get into their circus universities. Like their schools have prep schools, so before you can go to school, you need to go to another school to prep for the school, and it had to get into those schools. So I'm like, if I can get in that space, I will just network, and the right person will see me and take me under their wing and just fly with me. I mean, I'll fly back to Dominica, but like I just want the skill set from them. Yeah.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Next question. What's one thing people don't realize about circus training?
Mm, I would say
You
How
thinking?
much failure? I would say how much failure. I would say how much failure there is. I think a lot of people see us, and like one of the most common lines is like, "Yeah, girls like you that can do that way." I check what you mean by that? Like, I wasn't born strong and pulling on my mother's on my umbilical cord and hanging. Like, everybody starts somewhere. I could barely lift myself off the ground when I started, and I
Wow.
failed a lot. So I think everybody sees us and just like, they were born for that. And no, we were just born, and you too. So come.
Yeah, yeah.
Next question. Describe Y2Cirque in 3 words.
Crazy, gracious, and loving.
Aw. Next question. What's the craziest or most daring trick someone in Y2Cirque has attempted? Thinking.
Like, all of them crazy, eh? But um, I would say, okay, I would just go for what people have said. Like, I noticed that a lot of people are really receptive when Kid and I do this partner trick where she's upside down and I grab her hands and basically hang from her hands and do tricks like off her hanging from her hands. And I guess everybody's like, oh, she'll drop you and you'll fall on your head and die. And it's like, no. we practice a lot. That grip is, yeah,
It is tight. It grip
quite
in.
tight. I couldn't
It
fall if
is
I tried.
squeezing.
Yeah.
Wow. Next question. If Y2Cirque could collaborate with any performer or group in the world, who would it be?
Right now, oh my god. I can't remember no artist name now. It just got out of my brain. That sucks. Um, I would love. Okay, for right now, I'm just going to say a singer because it would be nice to like be back up while they're singing and doing their thing and just be representing them while they're killing it. Don't ask me which singer right now. My brain went blank. I apologize.
That's
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
That's okay. If your circus life had a theme song, what would it be?
Okay, you know that Signal One song? I don't know if the name of it, but it's Fed Up. I feel like everybody that comes to circus is kind of like their safe space. So anytime somebody come around for old vibes, it's like either you going and come and kumbaya with us, or because that is the only time of my day that I just forget I live in a stressful country. You understand? So it's like I feel like that is how a lot of our members feel. It's like a safe space, and when we come to do that, it's just good vibes only, supporting only, self improvement only. Please.
Yeah.
Wonderful. That's wonderful. And finally, which skill do you think everyone should try at least once?
Honestly, handstands. I'm sorry. I'm very bad at it, but I feel like, or I was. I feel like people should try that just so you
You
know,
tell me
like
and try
how much.
handstand?
Yes. No.
That's a
Listen.
lie.
No, listen. It'll humble you so much. And also, when you do stand up for like 2 seconds, you'll feel so proud of yourself. Like, wow, I did that. I fell afterwards, but I did that. I succumbed to gravity less today, And I just feel like it shows you once you start practicing, like, also different ways in which you can balance your body and just how strong you can be. And like, you can do it. I feel like it shows you if you try hard at this one thing, you can do it. And then it will give you confidence for other things that you actually care about if you don't care about handstands, because I don't. I'm sorry.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. That's it for my questions. My rapid fire question. People are asking about videos of your past performances, where they can reach out. People are asking what are your names on social media platforms. They want to get in touch. They want to stay in touch, and they want to support. So if you could share your contact information, if you could share if you guys are on Facebook, what's your handles so folks can connect.
So we're most active on Instagram right now. So I would say it's Y2Cirque. Y2 as in Whitey Kubuli, and then Cirque for Circus, Cirque. And you can find us on Instagram where you can watch our past performances live. Unfortunately, we have not posted any of them yet. We have clips and bits throughout our Instagram. And yes, that will change over in the future. We plan on posting full performances and full pieces, especially at this festival. Yes.
And Yeah, if you want to see us, I think we are linked to the Instagram. So
Yeah.
once you go on the Waitucirque Instagram, you will see our pages as well.
Yeah.
And we might not have entire performance videos, but like Kate said, we have shots, but enough clips for you to get what we do. And some beautiful pictures of certain projects we did where we did aerials over like T2 Gorge, over La River, like, experimenting with the beauty that Dominica gave us and seeing how
Wow.
we can make it circus.
Wow. Rosalind, I just sent you the spelling of Y2Circ. So you can check it out. You can check them out on Instagram and follow them and support them.
Thank you,
Once your tickets
guys.
become available, please let us know so we can share with
Yes.
our viewers so that they know that it's available. Um, oh, okay, the link is also shared with you as well, Rosalind. If you'd like to follow them, subscribe, and show up on May the 31st to the show, to the Nuce Histoire Circus Festival happening at Cappy Cottages in Cochrane. I want to leave the floor now for you guys. If you have any final words, any things that we may have missed, but you want to add.
Yeah, I just want to give a sincere thank you to everyone so far who have supported us, our friends, our family, this phone. Big up to the Wi-Fi. um, Matthew Aki, which does most, if not all, of our photography. I'm very thankful for him. It's really awesome. The support of the White Security Artists Association. We would not be able to be as far. I mean, we do try very hard, but we would not be able to be where we are today without their support and their resources, alias Forces, Circative, the school. Also very
Ministry of Culture for some duty free. On the structure.
Absolutely. Thank you guys. Love the support of the youth and what we're trying to do here. Jael Joseph for allowing us on her awesome show. Myself, big up to me, please. Big up to my friend right next to me, Serena, for taking me seriously. I just be saying let's do stuff and
Big up Tara Christina Massacot. Thank you.
yeah. Yeah.
It was
Also
wonderful.
outdoor. Sorry, one last sponsor: Outdoor Center, Sophia Outdoor Center, and Seacliff Gym, Seacliff Cottages for all the awesome stuff that they allow us to do.
Yes. It was really nice having both of you on the show. Getting to know a little bit more about. I've always been intrigued by your organization, but I'm happy that I was able to share with my audience a little bit about you guys, what you do, and why you want this to grow, why it's important to you, and also share with us on the festival that's coming up in May. I will get Samaj to share a flyer a few times, on the platform, just so folks can see the promo and hopefully tap in. Once you have the links for people to purchase tickets, just feel free to share that with us, okay?
Yes.
It was wonderful having you guys on. Uh, Tara said, lovely chat, young lady.
Yes. Thank you,
Um,
Rosalind. Thank
yes.
you, Tara.
So
Thank you,
folks are congratulating you guys. Well done, guys. I mean, you guys are doing something. You grab the bulls by the horn and you say we're doing this, and you've done it. And you have a whole festival coming up on May
guys.
31st, and all the best with that. Okay,
Yeah.
Yes,
Thank you so much.
you're welcome. Have a good night.
Have a good night. Thank you, everybody.
Bye bye. That was it, guys. These were the two ladies who represent the Y2 Circ, having a wonderful event coming up in May. That's May the 31st. It's going to be a Nuce Histoire Circus Festival. It's happening at Cappy Cottages in Cochrane. And I want to encourage folks, if you once ticket becomes live, purchase your ticket, show your support to these young people. Share this live so that another folk can get involved in it. I also want to encourage you guys to follow my YouTube page, because that is the platform where most of my content will live. Because as you know, Facebook has new restrictions where your lives only last 30 days. So be sure to subscribe to YouTube and view on the YouTube page so you can Turn on your notifications so you can get notified whenever I go live. I want to say thank you very much to Waitucirque for stopping by. Kate and Serena, thank you very much for dropping in and speaking with us. And I want to say thank you to those of you who tuned in, those of you who shared the live, and those of you who will come back and view this in its entirety. I also want to shout out, we have a few other shows coming up in the next couple of days. We have a few guests coming on. So we have guests tomorrow, we have guests on Thursday. So stay tuned. Don't touch that dial. Make sure you like, follow, and subscribe. And I will see you very soon. All right. So see you soon. Until next time, have a good evening. Bye, all.